Today we are doing a why I drive on a Subaru 22B. This is like the holy grail of all Subarus. They only built around 400 of them for customers. It goes for around $250,000. So we're gonna find out why the owner drives it, what makes this car so special and different from a regular WRX STI. Let's go. So right here, we are with the owner of this incredible car. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name's Jesse Kelly.
And this is your 22B.
Yes, sir.
So why do you drive this car?
I would say the first obvious reason is it looks awesome. Super iconic car. Actually very, very enjoyable and comfortable to drive. And for a Subaru fanatic like myself, this is without a doubt the holy grail of the Subarus.
So for those that don't know, like, it's just a regular Subaru, but to those of us that know, this is a unicorn. What makes it so special and different?
Very limited numbers. It has a unique engine that was only offered in the 22B. It also has unique suspension, only exclusive to the 22B. It has the two pots in the rear, some different wheels, and then the most special part would have to be the factory wide body on this.
Yeah, because the normal Subarus are not this wide, right?
Correct.
You can tell kind of because the wheels are tucked inwards of the body where the factory one would be, because they built regular two-door, right? Type R, Type RA, correct?
Yes, correct, yes.
So what's the difference between like a Type RA versus the 22B?
The 22B was meant to be like a WRC commemorative. So they, for the most part, mimicked what they were putting into their WRC cars at the time, whereas the Type Rs and the Type RAs, even though this is actually made out of essentially a Type R originally, the Type RAs would exclusively be as stripped down as they possibly could, with the main goal being that you could buy one and take it to immediately race without doing a lot of the normal race prep that you would on a conventional street car kind of thing.
So you said they built 400 of these. Is that all they made, or are there any more?
I believe they actually made 425. So the other 25 were unnumbered. They would just be 000, whereas the public ones would have been 1 through 400. This one here is actually number 61.
In terms of the collectability of these cars, what made them famous?
I'd say it was like a slippery slope where when they first came out, it was like, oh, wow, that's cool. It slowly developed after that to everyone wanting to mimic this look on their two-door Imprezas at the time. And then from there, they realized how special these truly were and how much more special they were to become. And then after that, it kind of started the craze of everyone wanting one or wanting a piece of one.
Yeah, because Colin McRae, right? We got to talk about him. In my opinion, he is the man that made Subaru famous. I remember growing up as a kid and sort of knowing of this Subaru figure. What influence do you think he had on this car?
Definitely a huge influence, huge. He had one of these himself. His, when it sold, went for astronomical money, as you can imagine, but definitely a worthwhile purchase. I feel like that'd be a good investment for whoever did end up buying that.
So did they make this car to commemorate him and his championship victories?
I wouldn't necessarily say exactly him, but I feel like overall just the motive of Subaru in general in the WRC.
And value-wise, all right, you might look at this and think, oh, that's just a Subaru, how much can it be worth? But do you want to tell how much these typically go for?
So they can range anywhere from $250,000 all the way up to $1 million for the right specimen.
Really? That much?
Yeah.
Wow. So what makes them different from one another? I thought they were all blue.
They are all blue, yes. And I would say what makes them special is either the owner heritage of a particular one or the mileage and condition. A lot of them have seen some stuff for sure. Apparently we are down to less than half of them as complete cars left in the world now. And I would say a lot of them saw the end of their fate from either racing or someone being a little silly, and sadly as well, it being a classic Japanese car, unfortunately rust.
So this particular example, it looks to be in showroom condition. Was it always that way?
No, it wasn't. Actually, a short time ago, a little over a year ago, when we actually began this project, believe it or not, this car had started highly modified with several panels that were different colors and all sorts of aftermarket stuff on it. Early or at some point in its life, someone had thrown on every piece of WRC components that they could. And then our mission there was to remove those and then completely turn it back to how it would have come off the lot.
And you said off camera before that you did so much, even the tires are what it would have come with from the factory, right?
Yes, so those are very, very special Pirelli Asymmetricos that it would have come with brand new in 1998. Those were incredibly hard to find. Even these are the original OEM wheels, which again were incredibly hard to find.
So how did you go about sourcing these parts to restore this car back?
I'd say our number one source, and I would call him the godfather of the 22Bs, would be Ali Burrows.
Okay.
So he actually sourced us with the wheels. He also gave us the model number for the tires, which he didn't have available, but amazingly, we were able to actually find the tires elsewhere, as well as the spoiler we got from him.
In England, they seem to have a big culture that appreciates these cars. Is that the case in Canada?
I would say it's similar here. I would say out there, it is definitely more extreme. They are very, very into what we call and they call the classic Imprezas. And then this one would definitely fall into that criteria.
So for those that don't know, is this the only Canada Subaru 22B?
As far as we know, we believe this is the only one in Canada. There is rumors there's possibly one out east, but we have not confirmed that.
Wow. Well, do you mind if we pop the hood and take a look at the engine? Kind of
Yeah,
what sets
absolutely.
this
No,
car?
I would love to show it off.
Wow. Looks like everything is brand new in here. Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
not bad, and we actually didn't do much under the hood of this car other than just give it a good clean.
Do you mind if we hear it and go for a ride in it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, let's go. That sounds pretty good. Not too loud. Right there, number 61. Wow, what a
And they
car.
came with no radio, so all you get to do is hear the sound effects of the car, which is actually quite enjoyable anyway.
Yeah, well, let's go for a ride and see what the performance is all about and if it's everything it is hyped up to be.
I think you will be impressed.
Would you say, as a professional Subaru, rebuilder? Is that what you would call yourself?
Yeah.
Would you say that this car lived up to your expectations?
Absolutely, 100%. No, for an out-of-the-box factory example, the power and performance and the overall drive feel of this really is quite fantastic.
Do you mind if I put the windows up?
Yeah, it's a good idea for sake of
The audio, yeah. The car might be fast, but the windows are slow.
Yeah, they are. So it does have great air conditioning, which is nice.
Wow. I'm so glad that I'm finally able to check a 22B off the interview list, right?
Yeah,
like it
absolutely.
is not easy to find one of these, let alone that is drivable or the owner's willing to take it out on the street. It's not tucked in a museum, you know, because most of these aren't like this nowadays.
Absolutely, yeah. No, a lot of them are either in a museum or they're somebody's garage showpiece, and they don't quite get out that much.
Yeah, so in the time that you've restored this car, have you got to take it in any events, any track days, or any just nice drives?
I have taken it to quite a few events. It definitely made quite a spectacle for Subaru enthusiasts and at Subaru exclusive car shows. It was a very big deal for a lot of people to see this. We definitely had a lot of pictures taken with it and people with it. Because again, it may be for people around here the first and last time they ever get to experience one of these in person. So it was really cool to be able to give them that opportunity.
Yeah, when I heard that you had one of these here in like what I would consider almost rural Ontario, I was like, what?
Yeah,
like there's a
kinda in the
22B?
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like out of all places, I never thought it would be here in the Canadian country. You know?
Definitely.
What is it like driving this around here? Does anyone know what it is?
I feel like they don't, because when I have driven it around here, I have people tailgating me and I have people passing me and all of those things. Like, it feels disrespectful to the car that someone would act like that around the car. So I feel like they definitely have no idea what they are, you know, driving up to or encountering.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to be a bit of a nerd like us, right, to know, oh, that's a 22B, that's not just an old Subaru.
Definitely, 100%. And I feel like it's not quite the population here. This is a pretty rural area.
Yeah.
Subarus are very popular here, but it's kind of the on-paw Subarus, and they want them for the all-wheel drive in the snow.
Yeah. Yeah, you were telling me a story about how you took it to one car show and like half the people were like, oh, nice replica, nice build, and then you told them it wasn't, right?
Yes, yeah, and that was quite a shock to a lot of them. Most of them had come by and kind of just glanced at the car, later came by with a double take, kind of in awe that it was in fact the real deal.
Now, what do you think of the modern era of Subaru? This might be a controversial topic.
Definitely controversial. I do like most of the main line from Subaru, so the new Outbacks, Foresters, stuff like that. They are really great cars. I would say in this part, I feel like most people are expecting. As for the WRX and the STI, which is no longer available, they kind of softened them too much from what they used to be, where they used to really be a machine, a sports car, if you want to call them that, whereas now it's kind of a car that has purposes beyond performance and a bit more made for the general public, whereas something like this is like, you don't even have a radio, so you are in it for the drive and not the comfort.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Do you mind if we get a pull or two before we go back?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is quick.
Oh, definitely.
I did not expect it to like put me back in my seat.
Yeah.
Wow.
For an untouched vintage Japanese Subaru, it is still very, very exciting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for this interview. I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this very rare experiencing it with me. In the meantime, never ever quit your dreams. I'll see you in the next video. God loves you.